Hello all, this is James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade, and I am here with the Paincreek Killings. This is a murder mystery type game, and I haven't done many videos lately. So we are going to do a ton of Paincreek Killing videos, or we might just do one really long one if I know me. But, yeah. So, murder mystery, I haven't played it before. I don't know anything about it. I'm going in completely blind, as you should with this type of game, and we're going to see if we are Sherlock Holmes or if we are, well, blind as a bat. So let's jump right into a new game. This game seeks to emulate, to a certain degree, the experience of investigating a murder case. You will need to search each location carefully, find clues to proceed, and use your observation and deduction skills to uncover the hidden secrets. We recommend writing your own notes or taking advantage of the in-game camera, The game autosaves whenever you enter a location. Should you encounter a bug or problem while playing, such as being stuck behind furniture or getting pushed out of the game world, simply use the reload button in the menu to transport you back to the entrance, blah blah blah. I didn't get to read the rest, but anyway, good luck.
Hey, Janet. So the chief has entrusted you with my assignment, hey? I hope it didn't interfere with your weekend plans. Anyway, he told me to call you and fill you in on it.
I look like a Janet to you?
You remember the murder that
I'm
happened
a
2 years
Jaames.
back that was never solved?
No,
the
I'm
one
not
at
aware of that.
Paincreek, where the ex-mayor's wife was killed?
Paincreek?
Well,
Where's that
the
at?
property's being auctioned off soon, so we don't have
It
much
is?
time to dig up anything that's relevant to the case.
Will the property be cheap?
So see what you can find. Hopefully it'll be something worth publishing.
Why am
Anyway,
I
take
doing
care.
this and
I'll
not
see
you?
you on Monday. Bye.
I don't think we're going to see you on Monday. Alright, the Hartford Times, 212 Greenwood Street, Northville, NL 42779. Reply, who killed Vivian Roberts? So we're trying to figure out who killed Vivian Roberts. We've at least figured something out. In August 3rd, 1999... Wait, no. This is August 3rd, 1999. Okay. In 1995, Vivian Roberts, a successful businesswoman and wife of former mayor, was murdered and dragged to the front of her own home. The case was never solved, and the killer never found. It was rumored that a private investigator was in Paincreek sometime later. There's nothing more on that. Last week, we received news that large swaths of Paincreek County will be auctioned off soon. We would like to revisit this story and attempt to find out the following. Who killed Vivian Roberts? What was the motive? What was the murder weapon? Well, I can tell you it was probably Professor Plum in the conservatory with the lead pipe. No? Okay. Please submit to your findings and a front page photograph for your story to be published. Richard Harris, Editor-in-Chief. Don't forget to bring the camera. Drat. Have to use a camera. Alright, standard controls. My push-to-talk key is, of course, going to crouch. Great. I'll be crouching every time I talk. Awesome. Welcome to Paincreek. Population 0. Here's my inventory. I am evidently James Johnson, journalist, not Janet Kelly. I've evidently somehow got the wrong ID here. I have a camera. Let's use our awesome camera. How do I use it? tab not doing anything? Okay, well I can exit. I can click through these things. I can click view, okay. It's grayed out. Okay, I can't use the camera for whatever reason. Interesting. Oh, you press C to use the camera. Okay, left mouse button to take photo, right mouse button to zoom in. And there we go. That'll be our front page cover for the story. Number 1, Black Pine Road, the Sheriff's Office. The cemetery gate padlock up there. Breaking into a sheriff's office. Doesn't seem like anything too valuable in here. It's locked. Look like I'm getting in there. Got a fairly dark room here. Medicine cabinet. What's back in this room? Ha! He was killed with bleach in the sheriff's office. Or she. Yeah, Vivian Roberts is a she, right? Can I not open that? There's a plunger. What's in the trash? Okay, so I'm being stupid, obviously. I don't think we're gonna find much in the sheriff's toilet. Read. It's a map of Paincreek. We're here at the sheriff's office. This is Black Pine Road. Here. We now have a map. Sweet deal. Plenty of duct tape for if you're out of handcuffs. Moon Cafe, 35 Black Pine Road. We now know that the cafe is at 35 Black Pine Road. In partnership with Anne's Courtyard Inn and Suites, if you show our barbarista your receipt or room tag, you will receive a free cup of our signature moon latte. Missing, Paincreek, PD. Name, Joshua Taylor. Date of birth, 23/1976. Age 13. Male, biracial, red hair, brown eyes, height 5 feet, 80 pounds, last seen on playground. The sheriff's number is 1-700-498-9870. Last seen 4 Pebble Lane, across the river on the playground. He was wearing his favorite blue jacket with a scar below his left eye. Vivian Roberts, successful businesswoman and wife of ex-mayor, found dead in front of her home. Third death to strike Paincreek in less than a year. Vivian Roberts, the wife of ex-mayor Charles Roberts, was found dead in front of her home at 1 Maple Drive, Paincreek. At 7:15 a.m., Mary Martinez, a maid currently working at the mansion, was retrieving the morning paper when she saw Vivian's body. She immediately called 911. Okay, so Charles Roberts equals husband. Mary Martinez equals maid. Address equals 1 Maple Drive. The Paincreek Sheriff, Jaames Howard. Okay. Jaames Howard equals sheriff. Arrived shortly. The victim was pronounced dead. The time of death was estimated to be between 11 p.m. last night and 1 a.m. this morning. The body is currently at the coroner's office waiting for an autopsy. The people of Paincreek have started grieving for her. Candles and flowers were being placed at the gates in front of her home, where she was found. Vivian was indeed a person whom many respected and adored. Her success in business, her loyalty to her friends, and her love for the people of Paincreek are unsurpassed. She will be missed. J, there's a journal. Newspaper. Okay.
Hi, this is Steven. I just wanted to make sure the package was sent. Again, I'm currently at Anne's Courtyard. Any extra info you have would be much appreciated. Thank you very much. Talk to you later.
Steven equals sent package Anne's Courtyard. Okay, we have a file cabinet that needs a combo. Reply, work relocation. Dear Sheriff James Howard, due to the decreasing population of Paincreek County over the recent years, we've decided to delegate manpower elsewhere. This letter is to inform you that you have been reassigned to Grand County starting May 14, 1998. Please report to our office before May 12, 1998. Signed, Richard O'Connell. So, a sheriff, an elected official, is being relocated to a different place. That's kind of interesting, but okay. The Story of Taunty. Taking a picture, because it's evidently important for some reason. Ah, a key. Scott Brooks, Paincreek Trinity Church pastor's son, suspected for killing Vivian Roberts. Scott Brooks equals suspect. Trinity Church pastor's son. Alright, witnesses report seeing suspect fleeing from murder scene late night. The police apprehended Scott Brooks yesterday afternoon. He was residing at the Roberts hunting cabin by the trailhead. According to witnesses who at this time have wished to remain anonymous, he was coming home late on July 19th at around 11:50 p.m. when he saw Scott walking very quickly away from the Roberts mansion, heading down Silver Lake. Although Scott looked upset, the witness did not think it unusual until a few days later when he came across a newspaper article on Vivian Roberts' murder. Feeling uneasy about the whole situation, he called the police. Shortly after the call was made, the police arrived at Scott's cabin and questioned about his whereabouts the night Vivian died. Scott said he did not meet her that he did meet her that night, but said he had nothing to do with her death. Scott was later brought down to the station for further questioning. Okay, can't continue to the next page. Vivian Roberts' funeral was held this afternoon. Bernard, the butler, Dorothy, the head servant. Alright, Bernard equals butler. Dorothy equals head servant. Derek, the chauffeur. Wanda, who is fighting cancer. Vivian's husband Charles, daughter Tricia. Tricia equals daughter. It was very quiet. Most of the town came and paid their respect at the funeral. Halfway through the ceremony, Tricia started to weep loudly. Dorothy brought her elsewhere, and the crying died down. I noticed that Dorothy looked tired. It must have been tough to take care of Tricia. She's been having multiple breakdowns. I can't blame her with the loss of her mother, and with her boyfriend being accused as the killer, it must have taken a toll on her. So, Scott Brooks, Trish boyfriend. I feel sorry for the whole family. September 6th, the town of Paincreek is quickly becoming a ghost town. The population has decreased drastically over the years. Ever since the deaths occurred, it seems that more and more people are actively looking to leave this town. It's sad to see a once lively town become what it is now. December 2nd, 1995. It's been almost 6 months since Vivian was killed. Her death still bothers me. Why was she killed? What was the killer's motives? She was someone who had earned the love and respect of the community. No employees of hers nor any citizens of Paincreek reaped any benefit from her passing. Doesn't make any sense. February 20th, 1996. Paincreek Community Hospital has officially closed. The remaining patients have been allocated to other hospitals that will provide suitable service for them. To be honest, it's hard to watch them leave. I wonder if the day will come when I will be reassigned somewhere else. Nothing in that one. Alright. Jaames Howard, Paincreek Sheriff, Vivian Roberts murder case, report. The report is an update of what happened to Vivian Roberts. Scott Brooks, the only suspect of this murder case, was apprehended a few days after Vivian's body was found. According to our investigation, someone saw Scott at around 11:30 near the woods north of the mansion. Didn't I just read something about him being seen somewhere else at that time? Near the woods of the mansion. 2 hunters were looking for more wood for their bonfire when they heard shouting. They witnessed Scott and Vivian arguing. However, they were too far to hear the contents of the argument. 6 months prior to Vivian's death, Scott was fired from working at the mansion. She cited Scott for tardy work and rebellious behavior. She also prohibited Scott from visiting the mansion and meeting Tricia, who by then had a close relationship with Scott. We are currently investigating the case. Scott is our main suspect in Vivian's murder. Main suspect. This is an update. Scott Brooks, the only suspect in the murder case, was apprehended a few days after it. According to our investigators, someone saw Scott around 11:30 p.m. Someone saw, huh? Someone? We don't know who that someone was. Near the woods north of the mansion. He was coming home late on July 19th at around 11:50 p.m. when he saw Scott walking very quickly away from Robert's mansion. On Silver Lake. Right, I think that's everything to do in here. Alright. So Paincreek Trinity Church is Scott's father. He's walking down Silver Lake towards the church, it looks like. Alright, we completed the tutorial. That's the end, so I'm gonna go down Clover Street. Nope, gate. Interesting. Woods north of the mansion at 11:30, and then coming down Silver Lake Boulevard 11:50. Is this what would be called Walnut Avenue, probably? So yes, I do realize that I skipped most of the town just now, but I want to do this in some sort of logical order, and for me it would be basically working from the scene of the crime out. So this is the mansion, huh? So I'm kind of focused on disproving the Scott theory, because I don't think Scott did it. I think he's just the fall guy. So there's literally a wall around this entire thing. So what does it matter if we saw Scott in the woods north of the mansion? There's a woods around, or there's a wall in between the mansion and the woods. There is that back door back there. Alright, so there we have a picture. This would have, damn it. This would have to be Vivian, Charles, and the daughter we know is Trisha. Take a picture for whatever reason. This is easy access back here, and there's that door right over there. Dr. Henry Johnson found drowned in vehicle at bottom of Cherry Creek Lake. July 13th, 1995. Okay, so Dr. Henry Johnson was drowned in a vehicle. Body submerged in water for as long as 15 days. Okay, and this is July 13th, so we're talking June, end of June? "15 days submerged, end of June-ish, question mark, question mark, question mark." As a burgundy car was found at the bottom of Cherry Lake yesterday afternoon. A swimmer who chose to remain anonymous said he was diving in the lake when he saw what appeared to be a red car glittering at the bottom of the lake. He swam towards the vehicle and was shocked to see a body in the driver's seat. He quickly called the police. 3 hours later, the vehicle was pulled out of the lake and the body was identified as Dr. Henry Johnson. Based on the police reports, the body had been in the water between 10 and 15 days. Paincreek Community Hospital confirmed that Dr. Johnson was last checked in on June 28th, 1995. The hospital staff assumed he had left Paincreek for business purposes, which Dr. Johnson was known to do rather privately. No missing persons report was probably filed. October 16th, 1973, Jackson and Lewis, 571 Holly Drive, Lakefield. Dear Mrs. Roberts, on behalf of Jackson and Lewis, we would like to thank you for appointing us to be Paincreek Community Hospital's medical provider. With your husband, Mr. Charles Roberts, running for mayor, some might consider this partnership to solely be for benefit of his status. On the contrary, it greatly benefits us, as your supporting funds allows us to continue our research and assisting our elderly patients. Details of the contract will be sent over shortly. Please go through the papers, have them signed, and returned to us by the end of the week. Thank you. Yours sincerely, Eric W. Campbell. With your husband, Mr. Charles Roberts, running for mayor. Supporting funds allows us to continue our research and assisting our elderly patients. It was recorded. So it sounds like she had something to do with the hospital. And a doctor was found mysteriously killed. Let's turn all the lights on in town. It's locked. Interesting. Noisy lane. Okay, somebody like to work out? Huh. Okay, so we've got workout schedules. Trisha seems to work out at night on Sundays. Bernard and Derek. Bernard, Charles, Wednesday and Thursday. Vivian on Friday. Nobody on Saturday. Huh. Bernard has some stuff here. Okay, so we have a key for Bernard, and from earlier we know Bernard is the butler. Okay, just jotting down that Bernard, the butler, found key, exercise room. I don't think the time on that's important. Will the butler's key work on it? This is a house entrance key found in lockers in the bench. Doesn't work. I forgot to return the servant's room key in time, so I left the key in the kitchen drawer. Sorry about that. Okay, so kitchen drawer key. pups. Somebody likes their Lorax. And that's Clorox flowers. Okay. Anyone delivering food to church on Saturdays, please lock all the doors and return the key under the flower pot before leaving. So anyone that lives here knows that the key is under the flower pot. Shopping list for Trish's birthday. Trish's birthday was coming up. A boyfriend would want to be at. And a reason to be getting in a fight with a mom. There's the key I'm looking for. Actually, I left all the other ones open. I should leave this one open too. Alright, before we go up to check that room, let's check the flower pot for a key. Maybe the key is for the back door? Wouldn't put the key inside. That's not a very good place for a hide a key. Da Vinci? Box of wine. Thought this flower pot key thing would be important. Maybe it's not a hide a key for here. Anyone delivering food to church on Saturdays, please lock all the doors and return the key under the flower pot before the... That's where the key to the church is. Church. So this is supposed to be the servant's room, and the head servant was Dorothy, though I suppose a butler and a chauffeur could also count as servants too. A diary. I was cleaning the mansion attic today when I found Derek and Wanda's old stuff. I asked Derek about it, and he told me he used to live here with his mom until he was about 6 years old. We chatted for like an hour. I've never talked to him that much. I felt quite nice talking with him, rather relaxing. I had to interact with Bernard today. His left wrist was swollen pretty badly. When I asked what happened, he claimed he fell during rock climbing and twisted his left hand. So he can't help with writing the Easter invitations this year. I told him he only needs his right hand for writing. He looked at me as if I was joking. How could I have known that he was left-handed? I think this is the head servant. Dorothy asked me to help clean her house tomorrow. Wait, no, Dorothy's the head servant. So this might, whose is this? Dorothy asked me to help clean her house tomorrow. I didn't know she had her own place. I thought she lived with the Roberts family in the nanny's room. She said she hasn't used the house for the past few months, but it needs to be taken care of every now and then. She will be 60 this year. I think I should help her. P.S. The address is 40 Black Pine Road. Okay, so now we know where Dorothy lives. So Dorothy's address equals 40 Black Pine Road. Trisha and Vivian had an argument during dinner. Vivian is thinking to send Trisha to college, but Trisha wants to be with Scott. She is not thinking straight. So whoever's diary this is, it can't be Bernard, it can't be Dorothy, it can't be Derek or Wanda or Trisha or... This has to be Charles's diary. I was about to clean the gallery when I noticed the door was already slightly open. I looked inside and saw Mr. Roberts. Mr. Roberts is Charles. Whose diary is this? Standing in front of a painting. Right before he left, I heard a faint click. As he was leaving the gallery, I hid in the staircase hallway. When I was sure that he was gone, I went into the gallery to see what he was so entranced by. It's just a painting of an old woman with a white headband. I wonder what's so interesting about this lady. Okay, there's a safe or something behind the painting then. Where was this? Gallery. Gallery. Painting. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Safe. White headband. Old woman, white headband. There will be a grand party to celebrate Trisha's birthday this evening. She will officially be 21 years old. Trisha and Scott are meeting at the shed behind the mansion. They called it their secret hideout. I know Vivian doesn't want Trisha to be with Scott. Should I tell her about it? Dr. Johnson is dead. He was the head of Paincreek Community Hospital as well as the Roberts family doctor. The police came by and asked if Vivian would be willing to go down to the station for another interview. I was nervous, but Vivian was very calm and accepted their request. She came back in the evening and assured us that everything was okay. She had nothing to do with Dr. Johnson's death. She had nothing to do with Dr. Johnson's death. His death was purely an accident. Why does she need to assure anyone of that? And whose damn diary is this? I cleaned the mansion attic today when I found Derek and Wanda's old stuff. I had to interact with Bernard. It's a diary. Whose diary? I was cleaning Mrs. Roberts' tea room when I stumbled across a pile of letters full of negative comments addressed to her. Why on earth does she keep those letters? She, more than anybody in this town, doesn't deserve to be attacked by these faceless cowards. These people cannot see the positive impact she has made for this community. It's not her fault that her business deals can't please everyone. M. Okay, we ran into an M earlier. Who was M? Mary Martinez, the maid. That's who this is. I need to report Scott to Bernard. His suspicious acts are getting out of hand. Today I saw him peeking into Mr. and Mrs. Roberts' room for the window. He's been told many times now not to do this. Scott. It's a prime suspect. Sounds like Scott knew more than he was supposed to know. But why wouldn't Scott have confessed when he was the one being targeted by the cops? Surely he would have sung like a bird about everything going on around here. Chair knocked over. Is that important for any reason? I don't think so. Okay, we got 4 pool cues. There's room for quite a few more. There's a pool cue on the pool table. A sheet to count score. Right, they like to lock up the wine. March 3rd, 1993. Okay, this is a little bit earlier. 20 years later, Paincreek still honors the lives of coal mine workers. Despite shock and pain, it was a tragedy that united everyone. 20 years ago, 6 members of this village, together with 13 others from the town of Hillsdale and Old Creek, perished in one of the coal mine demolition programs. The coal mine belonged to the Roberts Mining Company. Vivian Roberts, who had just married into the Roberts family, started a fundraising event that raised $96,000, contributing $24,000 from her own company. A total of $120,000 was compensated to the 6 families. This is a very small sum compared to what those families lost, and no amount of money can replace their loved ones, Vivian told the press. What we can do, however, is provide them with whatever help they may need, and for those who have helped financially, the Roberts family thanks you. But words not only comforted those families. Okay, so Vivian Roberts raised money for coal miners' victims. Almost feels like she felt responsible for it. I really don't think our Miss Vivian Roberts, the murder suspect, is this wonderful person that she's made out to be here. Slovenian wine. Sorry, Thomas. I must have forgot to check inventory. Apparently we are missing a case of Da Vinci's. Please don't tell Miss Roberts. The case that's out back isn't missing. It's just misplaced, evidently. How does this... Ginger beer. To-do list. Laundry duty today. Clean out the attic. Water the plants. Book Miss Roberts' appointment. Wash the windows. Okay, this is more things that Mary is doing. Notes for Vivian's tea schedule. Tea time is 3:20 on the dot. Use the flower pattern cup for Mondays. Gold line cups are for guests. Use 1/2 cup of milk. Always leave sugar on the side. Never interrupt unless she calls for you. This game is really in depth. I'm really impressed with this game so far. I've been here for almost 3 months. Everyone treats me well. Most of the workers have been here for a long time, some as long as 30 years. Dorothy is probably the oldest maid here. She's really nice and is responsible for taking care of all the maids. She always giving me snacks. The other oldest worker is probably Bernard, the butler. He's so serious. I don't think I've ever seen him smile. Dorothy and Bernard don't talk much to each other. However, they are perfect when it comes to attending Charles and Vivian's needs. I guess that's why they are in charge here. I notice Charles and Vivian are never together much, either even when they are both at home. They don't seem happy. What is going on? Vivian was just passing by when I broke the vase. I must have been really nervous, because I stood there for God knows how long. I thought she would scold me or even fire me. Instead, Vivian invited me to have tea with her. She asked about my parents and what I wanted to do in the future. I told her I hoped to open my own deli someday. She said I could do anything if I set my mind on it and work really hard. Like me, she used to be poor. Now she's a successful businesswoman. I hope to be like her someday. Wanda is sick. I've heard she has cancer. It has been 2 months since I took over for her. Okay, so if this is still the maid and her endless diaries, then Wanda was the maid prior to Mary Martinez. It has been 2 months since I took over for her. Her son, Derek, stays with her whenever she is not driving for Charles. I feel sorry for them. Luckily, Mr. Roberts helps with her financial needs. I pray she gets well soon. So Wanda is Derek's mother. Andrew shouted at me for walking on the grass. Who the heck is Andrew? Though I was sure I didn't step on it this time. He's always drunk anyway. Scott told me to ignore him. I'm not sure how he could be so patient, always taking care of Andrew and covering his workload. I would have assumed that Scott was Andrew's son if I had not known that Father Matthew adopted him years ago. He's so nice and talented, not to mention handsome. If only he wasn't taken. Okay, Andrew equals drunk equals gardener, maybe? Dinner, question mark, question mark, question mark. Scott covers for him. Probably led to him getting fired. And Scott is adopted. So we know a lot about Mary now. She's left it all over this house. And Andrew, he has quickly climbed up my list of suspects. The wine room is all locked up. Just a napkin. Oh, very nice. So second floor, there's the exercise room. We came out of the exercise room. So the maid room is exactly, this is good info here. Oh, well, it's added as the map, okay. More duct tape. Scissors. Well, I don't really see anything else amazing here. Another security code. And we're looking for an old woman with a white headband portrait. We have the Mona Lisa in here. I'm sure that's a replica. There's got to be a door here. Yes, there has to be a door there. There is something there. It's a wall save. Thumbprint? Reticle scan? And... Alright, what do we got here? This is different handwriting. March 14th, 1993. We went hunting this afternoon. Scott's quite a fast learner, and has good manners, too. Told him to call me Charles, but he kept saying it's more appropriate to call me Mr. Roberts. He almost got the deer on his second try. If he keeps this up, I'll take him over Bernard as my hunting partner. I'll take him over Bernard as my hunting partner, okay. June 11th. Trish has been rather obvious in her interest. He's a good-looking young man and respectful to others. I don't mind his status. There's nothing wrong with being an orphan. If there is, it's the parents' fault. I know that Trisha fancies him. I've grown to like him too. Today is Mom's death anniversary, August 27th, 1983. It's been 18 years since she passed away. I paid my respects at her tombstone. Vivian wasn't feeling well and chose not to come, so I asked Scott to accompany me. He brought fresh lilies. He said lilies suggest that the soul of the deceased was returned to a peaceful state. Sometimes I feel like he's a son to me. Well, Charles really likes Scott. Now that I think about it, Vivian is always getting sick during this time of the year. September 8th, 1993. I knew our relationship would not be as close as we had it, but ever since Vivian discovered my affairs, she hasn't been the same. She once joked to her friends during a dinner that all politicians are alike, and as a politician's wife, she has learned to close one eye. Sometimes I feel sorry for her. I think it was because of Trisha that she didn't leave me. She's a good wife and a good mother. I'm grateful for that. Okay. Lots of interesting info in there. That's the missing wine box. Okay, so this is the place where Scott and Trisha would like to meet, evidently. So we've got several different things that need to be opened in this game. So is this the room that Scott was being in trouble for nosing into? Well, I think we've learned everything we can learn here. I think the church is the next likely place to go. But we are at like an hour and a half on this video, so this is probably a good place to put a cut in the episode and start off episode 2. So, we just kind of went through the mansion. We've gotten an idea of what's going on in this town and who's who, at least from a mansion point of view. Now we're leaving the mansion and we're heading over to Scott's adopted father, the pastor of the town's place, to see what's happening at the church. But anyway, this is Paincreek. Very interesting murder mystery type game, very in depth. I'm quite impressed with it. It's currently on sale on Steam. That's why I got it, and I'm really happy I did. So far, an hour and a half in, and I only feel like I just scratched the surface, and the surface feels very, very wonderfully in depth. Anyway, I'm James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade. Hopefully you're enjoying this content. If so, please leave a like and subscribe. And until the next time all, peace.